Hello, this is Dora from The Mind Spirit. Just making a little video about how great really glossy cards are and what you can do about different things that I've discovered by accident. So the first thing is, and this has to do with like modifying cards and making mistakes and things like that. My favorite way to edge cards are usually black or some kind of a metal color. But here's the thing, especially if they're glossy, it looks bad. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I just don't. I don't like it that way. And what I discovered is that you can actually remove it without making damage. You can actually even write. But normally test it on cards, like your extra cards, to test if it does any damage or anything like that. So you can do anything like that to your card. And this right here, this is my favorite nail polish remover. And if they're super glossy, it'll come off without doing any damage. Okay, so what you do is, and this also works when you edge the card. Have you ever edged the card with a Sharpie and it stinks? You know that inky stink? It helps once you wipe it off, but don't have it be very damp. Well, I'll tell you about that later. But anyways, once you do that and it's a mistake that you did, you just kind of just rub it like that. It's better to use cotton. And not only that, but you can clean up the edges where you made the mistake and just let it air dry. Okay? If you see it on the other edge, the other side, and I suggest that you just do one side at a time, let it dry, and then your card stays clean and edged, and all the messy stuff is off. Okay, as much as you can get off. Okay, and once it's done, this one smells like coconut. Okay, so like I said, it's better that you just do one side and then do the other, and it gets rid of all that. Okay, and the best thing that for me is that one time a friend of mine gave me a deck of cards. She was into other stuff where she used a lot of smoke and stuff, and now she changed religions and gave me a deck of cards, but it smelled like smoke. So I actually ended up doing a lot of cleaning with this because it was that super glossy Rider's Waite Smith. No, not Rider's Waite Smith, just a Rider's Waite. You know, the one, the yellow card, yellow box. And the cards are really plasticky. Those were excellent for that because I did it maybe 4 or 5 times until the smell of smoke came off, and it just smells a little more coconutty. So that's one thing you can write. Or let's say you want notes. To make a long story short, I also do this. When there are affirmation cards, this is one of my favorite ones by sylviabrown. You can do, she did a specific spread for spirituality one day. Maybe I'll do another video where I show how to do the spread. It has to do with your spirituality and her cards and her sayings. Now, if you know anything about me, I really don't like cards that have affirmations and stuff like that. Let me take a look here. Sorry about that. Let me just push pause for a second. All right, I'm back. Her cards, they all have affirmations. So what I end up doing with cards that have affirmations, I just like a simple picture and a word. 2, maybe 3 at max. But really, if I can just do one word, I do one word. This one says, regret over what you have done. What? Regret over what you have done is useless and blocks your spirituality. So I just use the word regret. It doesn't always have to mean with this, okay? But when you do the spread, or if you have other cards that you really love the way they look, but the affirmations kind of drive you nuts, the best thing to do is to write on here. Now, it's the exact same thing. Let's say you're trying to learn how to use cards. You're like, oh, I wish I knew how to use this. So then I'll write in a note, or there's some. One thing I will warn you about: there's a Sharpie that has a fine tip, very ultra fine. So it has a little metal tip with a little bit of that felt on it. If you press too hard and you use the Sharpie, you will have a hard time taking it off. If you use that marker, you have to use it very lightly so that when you wipe it off, there's no dents. Because if there's a dent, that black stuff's going to stay in there and stain it, okay? Like this. This I did months and months ago. And let's say I'm done, I know everything by memory on certain cards. What you do is with your nail polish remover, because these are very glossy, okay? You just go like this, little elbow grease, and it's gone, like new. Okay, but always test them on your extra cards if you can. So let me put that back to where it was. Let me take off the stain on here. And just to make sure it dries, and I'll put back on there. Regrets. Okay. You can do that with a lot of them, especially like the medicine cards, because they're super glossy, and you can learn more by writing on there. Let's see how I wrote that? I don't like the way that looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. I don't like it. My handwriting looks like doo-doo, so make sure that's dry. And it dries pretty quickly because it's nail polish remover, but I'm getting... And try to wear gloves because look, see how dry my fingertips are getting? Because of the... It's 100... Oh, it has to be 100% acetone, okay? So I'm going to write it in a nicer way. Like it's any better. Let's see. Regrets. Okay, that's good enough. So this is one of my favorite decks that I use for spirituality. And every single one, there's a word or two. Okay, and I use it for different readings. I use a different marker on that one, can you tell? And pretty much that's how you can use it if you're trying to learn. Another thing is the Osho Zen. Let me give you an example of that. And I'll also tell you how I altered this one. If you're a person that does not like the man who created the Osho Zen, like myself, I pretty much took out, it has 79 cards. It's supposed to be 78. This is just like the Rider's Waite. The purples here, it's the major arcana. The blues are water. The reds are fire or wands. Then you have the rainbows are earth or coins. You have the grays that are swords or air. What's the other one? Let's take a look here. We've already said that one. Purple, blue. What other one? Can't even think. Did I get them all? Rainbow, blue, red. No, I got them all. Okay. So I took out that card, and then I'm left with 78 cards. Now there is one controversial card. Well, this is what the Osho Zen, that's what the master card looks like. Master, right there. So I took that one out. So I don't have it. I just did that to keep place on here. And the other one that's very controversial, and now I understand why. It says schizophrenia. And it's the two of clouds, swords, air. Okay, and it looks like this. And it says schizophrenia down here. So what I ended up doing is, so I can use it and not offend anybody or hurt people's feelings, because that's a very sensitive, you have to be sensitive about the people whose cards you read. And technically, you know, it's the Two of Swords. You're split between maybe two things. So what I did is the word was here. I used my black marker, went right over it, and made it easy because it's black on black. Who's going to know? And I don't hurt anyone's feelings. Doesn't shock anybody. Doesn't offend anyone. And you know what? I don't like it saying schizophrenia. Okay? And it's the Two of Swords. So there you go. That's a solution. And like I said, sometimes you get those stinky cards. You've done it in black or red or whatever you did. So what you end up doing is you do the same thing just like this. It's not soaping wet with acetone, but just light. Okay? And then you just, as long as it's not picking up on the, see this one's dry, so you don't want it to be picking up on all that lint. So you get a little bit, hopefully I won't mess it up, and you just kind of go like that. It does take some of it off, but it'll help. Or if it's too sticky, have you ever done it where it's too sticky? You just run it like that, hold it really tight. And even if it bleeds, you can clean it up, okay, with the same thing. This is only for the super glossies. Do it at your own risk. Do the testing yourself. And if you get this one, they come in different smells, but this is my favorite one. It smells like coconut. And it works. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Found it interesting. I thought I'd share that. And you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.